Okay, we've all seen those videos, right? Or maybe you've even seen it happen in person. A parent just absolutely losing it at a kid's game. It feels like it's happening more and more. But what is really going on behind all these sideline explosions? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the powerful forces that are driving this conflict and, more importantly, lay out a clear game plan to actually solve it. I mean, this quote right here, it really captures the worst-case scenarios. But you have to remember, for every single fight that goes viral, there are thousands of smaller, quieter conflicts simmering on the sidelines. We're talking about those tense car rides home, the constant arguments with coaches, and, kids who just slowly stop loving the game they used to be so excited about. And let's be super clear here. This is not about a few bad apple parents. This has become a systemic issue, a real epidemic. And the biggest casualties, the ones who pay the real price, it's the kids, the very kids we're all supposedly there to support. Their fun, their development, and their mental well-being are all on the line. So why? Why is this happening? It's not like parents just woke up one day and decided to be difficult. There are some really powerful and honestly pretty understandable pressures at play here. So let's dive in and break down the four main drivers behind this sideline epidemic. First up is the investment. I mean, the sheer investment. Youth sports today can cost thousands of dollars a year, not to mention 15, maybe 20 hours a week of family time. So when you pour that much time, that much money into something, it's only natural to expect a return on that investment. But the problem is, when that expectation morphs into intense pressure and things don't go perfectly on the field, that's when emotions can just boil over. Driver number two is a huge one: the dream of a college scholarship. Or now, with the new rules, a big name, image, and likeness, or NIL deal. To many, this feels like the ultimate jackpot, the big payoff for all that time and money. A lot of parents genuinely see sports as a direct line to financial security for their kids. But let's take a hard look at the actual numbers. And here it is. This is where perception and reality just completely split. Only about 2%, just 2% of all high school athletes get any kind of college athletic scholarship. And we're not talking a full ride here, folks. That's any scholarship money at all. Okay, so what about that full ride? The golden ticket, the life-changing free education? The odds for that plummet to roughly 0.1%. The immense pressure that gets created by chasing those astronomical odds, it's a massive source of conflict. The third driver is a major shift in focus. The old school goals of learning teamwork, building some character, maybe just having fun. It feels like those are getting totally lost. When every single game is treated like it's a professional level audition and winning is the only thing that matters, well, the real value of sports gets shoved aside, and conflict is pretty much guaranteed in that kind of high-stakes world.
And the final driver, it's pride. It is totally natural to want your child to do well. Of course it is. But sometimes a parent's own identity can get way too tangled up in their kid's performance on the field. You add in the constant comparison culture of social media, and boom, you have a perfect recipe for losing all perspective and letting your ego take control.
All right, so we've diagnosed the problem pretty clearly. Now what? How do we actually fix it? Let's start with the structural solution. This is all about organizations and teams getting out ahead of the problem, creating a clear, proactive game plan for handling conflict before it even has a chance to start. You see, structure reduces chaos. It just does. Having a solid conflict policy and sharing it with every single person before the season is an absolute game changer. It has to clearly define the rules for communication, lay out the exact steps for escalating a concern, list exactly what behaviors are unacceptable, and then state the consequences for breaking those rules. When everybody knows the playbook, there's just so much less room for that sideline drama. But look, a structural plan isn't going to be enough on its own. Conflict is actually a skill. And just like any sport, we as parents can get better at it if we have the right tools. So let's build a personal playbook with 5 essential skills that you can use to manage conflict like a pro.
Tool number 1, it all starts with emotion. You have to be able to recognize when you're getting heated and learn how to manage that response. Why? It's simple. Because no productive conversation, no real problem solving can ever happen when you're in that red zone, that highly emotional state. This is the foundation. Everything else is built on this.
All right, tool number 2 is communication. Think of this as your gateway to actually resolving things. See, bad communication just fuels misunderstandings and makes conflicts worse. But if you can develop clear, respectful communication skills, You can stop so many problems before they even start, and it gives you a map for navigating disagreements when they do pop up. Tool 3 is a fascinating one, learning to look below the line. A lot of the time, the argument that's happening on the surface, like playing time, that's not the real issue. The real driver might be a much deeper fear. Maybe a fear that all the family's investment of time and money is just going to waste. Getting to that hidden root cause is absolutely critical if you want to find a real, lasting solution.
Fourth, you have to aim for win-win solutions. Conflict shouldn't be this battle where one person wins and the other person loses. The goal is to shift your entire mindset from confrontation to collaboration. That means working with the coach or the other parent to find a solution where everyone feels like they've gained something and has a real stake in the outcome.
And the final tool in our playbook is trust and follow through. Trust is so hard to build and unbelievably easy to lose. This skill is all about being intentional. It means doing what you say you're going to do. It means actively working to build and, when necessary, repair relationships. Because at the end of the day, trust is what's going to determine the future of your relationship with the coaches, with other parents, and even with your own child.
Okay, so we've got the big picture structural plan and we have the personal skills. So how do you actually put this all into practice? Let's walk through some really simple, actionable checklists that you can start using to change the game literally starting today.
Before the season even kicks off, just take a minute for a quick mental check-in. First, redefine what success even looks like. Is it just about winning, or is it about growth and effort? Second, ground yourself in the reality of scholarships so you can manage your own expectations. Third, please actually read the team's conflict policy so you know the rules of engagement. And most importantly, have a real honest talk with your child to make sure you're on the same page with their goals, not just yours. Then, when you're in the thick of the season, use this checklist in the heat of the moment. 1. Check your emotions. Are you calm? 2. Use the 24-hour rule. Wait a full day after a frustrating game before you even think about approaching a coach. 3. Seek to understand first. Listen before you start making accusations. And 4, remember, you are a role model. Are you modeling the kind of behavior you want your child to learn? And then, after that final game, it's time to reflect. Go back to that definition of success you set for yourself at the very beginning. Remember, the real wins are not on the scoreboard. Ask yourself, did my child grow as a person? Did they actually have fun? And when I look back on the season, was I a source of support more than a source of pressure? Be honest. And here is a super powerful but simple tool you can use to open up a conversation with your child at any time. It's called the Keep, Start, Stop model. You just ask them 3 simple questions. What should I keep doing to support you? What should I start doing? And the tough one, what should I stop doing? The key here is to just listen. Don't get defensive, just thank them for being honest. It's an incredible way to build trust. So as the next season gets closer and closer, it all really boils down to this one question. With some intentional planning and a real focus on developing the right skills, youth sports can be what we all want them to be, an amazing opportunity for growth, for joy, for building character. Or they can be a source of chaos, and the power to decide which one it will be, that rests with every single parent on the sideline.